Dorit Kemsley is calling out Sutton Stracke. Kyle is calling Dorit bitter. Brandi Glanville is calling out Dorit's financial woes. And Lala Kent is finally opening up about why she let go of her assistant. Let's get into it. Happy New Year. You're listening to No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. What's going on, everybody? Welcome on in, welcome on in, welcome on in. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Where's the baby? The New Year baby. Is anybody watching New Year's Eve? Well, I guess it's not Happy New Year yet, but it's like Happy Early New Year because it's New Year's Eve and I'm not going to see you tomorrow, but there you go. Steven says, hi, everyone. I love you, Zack. I'm going to try to keep up, but work's got me busy, sadly. Just want to hear the tea. Steven, what is work keeping you doing on New Year's Eve? What do you do for work? Now I'm fascinated. Now I'm interested. Tell me. Shelby says, thanks for joint, Zack. For joint? Did I give you a joint? I don't even smoke joints. So if I gave it to you, then it was because I didn't want it because I ain't going to be using it. Is anybody watching Andy and Anderson tonight? Because that should be quite the hoot. The hoot and the holler. Val says she's not doing anything, just chilling. I wish I were chilling tonight. I would love to just like stay in with the dogs, but we're going to my mom's, and it's not that I don't love going to my mom's. It's just always such a whole production and the dogs and the things and all the stuff, and it's just like, So I normally like being home for the Happy New Year, but we're going to my mom's. Pamela said she'll be playing some board games tonight and maybe some karaoke. For me, the most annoying part of New Year's is that of New Year's Eve is like you have to stay up late, and I'm like, I'm tired. Like last night I was ready for bed at like 7:30. I fell asleep at 7:30 actually, and then I woke up and it was 9:30 and I was like, "Oh, well, guess it's bedtime now." And then I went to bed. So I love to go to bed early. Laura says, I'm making a gourmet maple bacon goat cheese dip. Ooh, a maple bacon goat cheese dip. That sounds quite lovely. Sounds very delicious. Delicioso. Okay, what do we want to start with first? Do we want to start with Dorit and Sutton and Kyle, or do we want to start with Lala Kent? Because she's finally talking about why her assistant's gone. And then we also have the I guess the most streamed Bravo shows have now been revealed. And I'm curious what your thoughts are on these choices, or well, not choices, but on the shows that we all watched all year long to kind of celebrate a little countdown, the final countdown. Bum bum. Okay, Melody and Heather say, let's start with Lala. All right, let's start with Lala. Give them Lala. They said, give me Lala. Okay, Lala Kent was just on Amanda Hirsch's Not Skinny, Not Fat podcast, and she's opening up about her assistant Jess, and she's just like, because Amanda was like, we have to get to the rumors, and so Lala was like, well, let's get to the rumors, and so Amanda's like, what went down with your assistant? And Lala Kent is like, well, what had happened was, she's like, listen, I love her, and she wanted to fly the nest and spread her wings. So who am I to stop her? She's like, if my mom came to me and said, hey, I don't want to watch your kid anymore because I want to, spread my wings and sail off into the sunset and live my best 60s elsewhere. She says, then you know what? Then I would let her do that too. She's like, if somebody wants to go and fly the nest and live somewhere else, or do what they want to do and pursue something else in their life other than, be my assistant for the rest of their life, then fine. And so she said, she's like, it's funny that everyone's so interested in why Jess left now. Everyone's so fascinated by it, yet nobody cared when Jess was on the podcast. And because everyone was, I guess, telling Lala that she should fire Jess from the podcast and take her off the podcast because they didn't like her on the podcast. Russ says, why would you go on someone else's podcast to spill your own tea? Because I don't think she was wanting it to be tea. I think for her, it was really just like she didn't really care to make it tea. But if you're on somebody's podcast and they're going to ask, then you might as well answer the question. And so she did. And so she talks about how she makes it seem like Jess just wanted to leave. I'm thinking maybe Jess wanted to be famous and maybe wanted more of the Give Them Lala brand that she's built, because Lala says that, whoever the next assistant is that's gonna come and work for her, she doesn't want them to have, like, big Hollywood aspirations. She doesn't want them to have, like, want a desire to be in entertainment, which I get. And a lot of assistants come into LA and they wanna work for famous people, and they wanna work for famous people so that they can, um, get to the next level in their career, right? They want to be famous. They want to have a social media following. They want to do all of these things, and working for somebody famous is a very easy way to do that. And I think Lala was like, I don't want to do that with anybody else anymore, because then it just feels like they're trying to. Lala doesn't say this, but I'm adding on to what she said. Because it's like, if you have somebody that wants to continue to grow, like, yes, you want them to grow, you want to support their dreams and their aspirations, but a lot of the times you're not entirely sure of, like, are you here to do a good job for me? Oh, Marianne Stout said it. Are you here to do it for, like, are you here to be here to work for me? Or are you here to, use me to build your own career, basically? Um, yeah. Laura says, are your dogs your assistants, and do they want to be famous? No and no. They are not my assistants. There are more things on the to-do list for me to take care of. Val says maybe Jess is just too big for Lala's britches. I mean, that's possible. I mean, I don't think Jess is like, "Ooh, I'm gonna be a better assistant elsewhere." I think Jess is like, "Yeah, I wanna be on Lala's podcast. I wanna jump onto that Vanderpump Rules clout so that I can build something for myself outside of give them Lala and outside of working for Lala Kent." But, like, that's what you're gonna get with most assistants here. You're not like, Sutton has who's that, Avi? Rarely are you gonna find someone like Avi who's worked for you for a very long time that wants no part of the limelight, right? And so someone like Avi works because, Avi wants no part of that life. Avi just wants to come and do a good job and to have job security. And I think, him and Sutton, that's what he is able to provide for her. And so she's able to provide him with a good job, a good stable job, a steady income. And, and then he gets the perks of sometimes being on the show, or sometimes getting to go and watch what happens live and stuff like that. So I feel like, you know, you can find those types of assistants, but for the most part, a lot of them are here with some sort, like, if they're moving to LA and they want to make it an entertainment, I don't think that's gonna make the best assistant. And I don't think that you can fully trust that. And it sounds like Lala maybe didn't fully trust Jess. And it kind of seems like Jess started to focus more on what she can gain from Lala rather than how can I do a good job. Which at the end of the day, and Lala says that, like, she was my employee. She's, somebody that worked for me, that I was paying. And when I'm paying you to do a job, you have to do a job, and you have to do a good job. Otherwise, you're not going to have that job for much longer. So it kind of sounds like maybe Jess wanted to be paid to be on the podcast, or wanted more. Uncertain if Jess is going to have much of a entertainment career after this, or what she's even doing now to make money. Judy says she loves Avi. Judy Booty. She loves Avi. He's a good assistant, right? Like, as an assistant, right? He's not, going to be doing much else outside of that. So yeah. Okay, well, that's Lala. Oh, she also talks about Katie. She says that she and Katie have not spoken since the reunion, and it's really hurtful because she feels like at the reunion, she was painted out to look like somebody that will take information and keep it in her back pocket until it's convenient for her to pull out that information and reveal it and mention it all in a gotcha moment, which she says is how it was framed at the reunion, when that wasn't the case. She just felt like Katie wasn't being honest and, genuine with the things that she was saying about Ariana behind her back. And it didn't seem like anybody was really being honest. And I think, the cast, to a degree, at some point, did censor themselves a little bit. And I think Katie did for sure, because Katie knew that she had a financial vested interest in this business that she had built with Ariana, that it wouldn't be in her best interest to harm that business by, saying how she really felt about Ariana, because the audience and the fans were very much up Ariana's butt. That, like, if you want something about her to be successful, then you have to have a united front. So Lori M says Lala needs to get her own job besides her podcast. Okay, baby, this is my job, a podcast. Okay, so let's not shade on people that make their money off of a podcast, because I happen to do very well for myself on my podcast. So let's not talk our shit right now. Lala has a job. She's doing, she does her Amazon lives. She has her podcast. She has her social media brand endorsements. She's working. She's doing her thing. Why are you going to hate on a woman and a single mom that's providing for her family? Michelle says a podcast is a job. Hers just isn't very interesting. Listen, I don't listen to her podcast, so I can't talk. I do like Lala on a personal level. Lori says truth. Sorry, that is not some truth. Okay, this is my job, full time, all day, every day. Okay, and I do very well. So that is a job, and I will stand on that 10 toes down. Just because you're a hater behind a keyboard, don't mean that I don't pay my bills. Bills. Because let me tell you, this rent ain't cheap. And I got to pay it. And I do. Okay. And I got to feed my dogs. And they do. Oh, Lori says, you told the truth. I'm sorry. Oh, thank you. All I do is spit truth. You want to get popped or you want to get along? And then that's when Ariana says, I don't want to get popped. That is a great scene. And Ariana's reaction is great. I don't want to get popped. Val says, you're very good at your job, Zach. Thank you. Russ says Zach does 7 to 9 episodes a week. That is true. I do 5 episodes of No Filter, a bonus episode, and 2 episodes of the Pop Report. Okay. Oh, Judy Booty said Lala's podcast is boring AF. I don't know. She does have some sort of I don't know. Shannon says I like Jolene. They're not like us. Jolene. I'm begging you, no, please don't take my man. Jolene. Lala has a big mouth. She isn't very likable. Podcast is boring. Wow, we have a lot of Lala haters. Listen, I don't listen to her. I don't listen to many like podcasts that are like in my category. I like to listen to like self-help podcasts and podcasts about like manifestation and quantum leaping and how to be successful in business and all of that stuff. I like things that like help me grow, help me evolve. So, but I feel like Lala is trying to make like her podcast like more reality showy where it's like about her family and they're talking about things and I don't know. She did fine on her podcast tour. Like that sold out and she was filling up all the rooms when she was doing her tour. So she definitely has an audience that's listening. So there you go. How to make friends and influence people. There you go, Laura. Have you listened to that? That is a good one. From Jolene to Lala is a playa hater. I don't know. I feel like everyone that's hating on Lala is hating her. And it's like, don't hate the player, hate the game. Laura says, I like podcasts on murder. Why don't you come listen to one with me in the forest? Have you seen that TikTok trend where like you'll take your mom out to a forest, like you'll be camping, right? And you'll be like, oh mom, let's go for a walk out in the woods. And so they go out in the woods. And then you just say to her, wow, isn't it so quiet? Almost as if nobody could hear you if you screamed, and then you film how your mother would react to that. And it was funny because some of them, they're like, "Oh, hang on," like they turn on their kids real quick. And then there was one woman, she bless her heart, she was this older Asian woman, and he was like, "Yeah, mom, if nobody would hear you if you screamed." And she's like, "Really?" And then she starts screaming. She's like, "You can hear me. I can hear me. Look at and she's like screaming. He's like, "No, I mean like nobody would hear you if anything happened to you." She's like, "What do you mean? What would happen to me?" And then she keeps screaming. She's like, "See, I can hear me. I can hear my echo." I can like she was just totally oblivious to it, and it was really funny. Try that with Nancy. No, I couldn't do that. I don't get why people are into the murder podcasts. Listen, um, I have started to get into some true crime. Like, oh, am I about to become a true crime detective? Am I gonna enter that genre of my podcast consumption? It is interesting, right? So yeah, that's a lot. Let's talk about Dorit and Sutton and Kyle. And so there are 2 new clips that have been released from next week's episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, because we know that the big fight between not Erica, between Dorit and Kyle and Sutton goes down next week when Erica has her, I think it's Bounce, her new song Bounce, that like release launch single launch party. that she did. And so the ladies are there to support her. And then Kyle and Dorit start going at it because Dorit finds out that Kyle texts PK, as Garcelle says it. PK texts her. And people were laughing. So like, why does she say Texas? Like the state? When you just say PK texts her. Text. There's no Texas. Texts. So she finds out that PK texts her, and then Dorit's like upset. And Kyle's just like, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Which, like, hello, poll of the day. Is it weird if you're going through a separation and then you and then, your friend is Dorit, and then you start texting her man? I feel like that's kind of weird, right? But Kyle's just like, well, PK's been a better friend to me than Dorit has. But then I was like, wait a minute. But wasn't how this whole fight even began is because you said that you and Dorit weren't even that close, that you only worked together on the show. So if you guys aren't that close, because Dorit's thing was like, no, we were close. Not only were Kyle and I close, but like as couples, we were close and we would travel and vacation together. And like the four of us had, a solid couples friendship. So what is it, Kyle? Like, make it make sense, because now you're saying I was never really that close to Dorit, but then at the same time, you're like, well, I am good friends with PK. So it's like, well, then what Dorit's saying is kind of right, right? Like you guys did travel together, you guys did vacation together. Mo and PK still seem to be on a good path. They seem to still be solid friends. So I'm very confused as to why Kyle suddenly wants to downplay her friendship with Dorit. I get it that Kyle also has other friends and Kyle has maybe more of a life outside of the show, but that doesn't mean there's no friendship there with Dorit the way that she's tried to diminish it. So I agree. It's breaking girl code. You don't text your friend's ex. I mean, it's one thing if like you reach out and you're just like, listen, I'm so sorry, about the separation. Just know, I'm thinking of you guys. Let me know if you guys need anything, but like generalize it to you guys. Right. But then to have that friendly relationship beyond that, when Dorit is your friend, mm, mm, definitely breaks girl code. And then Dorit starts to raise her voice up to Kyle and starts getting upset with Kyle. And Kyle's like, why are you yelling at me? And Dorit's like, I want you to stop raising your voice at me. And then Kyle's like, I'm sorry, you're just bitter. And then I was like, ooh. But she's allowed to be bitter right now. Like, she's allowed to be angry. Like, I don't get why everybody's like, Dorit, you're being this and you're being that. Let her be this and that, right? Let her be that. She is hurting right now. Her marriage is ending. She has to take care of 2 kids on her own. She has all this financial mess, especially with the shit that came from PK's financial mess in the past. So, yeah, there's a lot for her to deal with. She signed up. She married PK 10 years ago, which is when she joined the show, or 8 years ago, 10 years ago, 8 years ago. She'd just been married to PK a few months when she joined Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So it's kind of like, like, this is not what she signed up for. Like Erica, I get why she would be mad with Tom Girardi, because she was like, I signed up for a lifestyle of lavish luxury. This is not what I signed up for. I didn't sign up to take care of the orphans and widows. Like, what? You know? She's like, I ordered Fendi and Prada and I got orphans and widows. Like, that's not what I was bargaining for. I didn't play my hand too well. And so Dorit's kind of the same. She's like, I went for a wealthy English businessman and now I got an alcoholic that texts my ex best friend. Sharon says, Kyle wants everyone to give her grace, but she never gives it back. I would say she's definitely not giving Dorit much grace. None of the ladies are. And they're just like, Dorit, you're acting so out of pocket. It's like, bitch, yeah, I am acting out of pocket, as I should. As was Erica when she was going through her separation. Everyone's like, you have no empathy. And she's like, bitch, what about me? My life just got turned upside down. And I don't got a rich auntie in Bel Air that I can go stay with right now, like the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. She's like, I got to go get my own apartment and pay my own bills without my man. Shanika says, a man is not a plan. Listen, that's the Hollywood dream, What do you want me to say? That's, that's the Hollywood, like the American dream. Well, if you move to Los Angeles, that's the Hollywood dream. You go there, you find a man, and he pays for your life. The Mrs. Rouse, as she should. Yeah, she should be pissed. She should be bitter right now. Let Dorit be bitter. Palin said, what did Erica say? The only person I care about is me. I mean, which, listen, Tactless, sure. Lacking empathy, sure. But also, who was caring for her at that point? Like, of course, she was going to care for herself going through all of that. When your whole world turns upside down, like, yeah, you have to have you at the end of the day, and the world is beating down on her. Garcelle kept kicking her in the teeth while she was on the floor. So that's like, yeah, I get it. When you're going through something tough and you got to take care of you, like, that's all you got to be worried about at the end of the day. You can't be like, oh, I'm so sorry that my husband bamboozled all these people. So you know what? Just take everything I got and leave me homeless. It's not to say I don't have empathy for the people that were done wrong, but it's like there's a legal process that they had to go through. And now with Dorit, like there's, a process that she's going through to figure out the next chapter in her life. Michelle said, if I have to choose, I would be on the side of Dorit. Yeah. She got ruthless and toothless. That she did, Foggy Bottom. That she did. What is a foggy bottom? What does that mean necessarily? Like, why are you foggy? Was that due to improper douching? Marianne Stout says, me too, Sharon. Brag about Chanel, but don't pay your mortgage. Oh, okay. So that's the interesting thing, bringing in Brandi Glanville into it. So Brandi's now coming out, and she just did an interview with The Sun, and Brandi Glanville's like, I don't understand what's going on this show. Like, Dorit has all these financial issues, and her home is in pre-foreclosure, which I don't. What is pre-foreclosure? I guess that means that your house is about to go into foreclosure. We should probably ask Kim Zolciak. She had like, what, 8 foreclosures in the past year before they finally had to give up the house. So, I mean, listen, it's not a cheap house in Beverly Hills. That's not cheap rent, They should start a podcast to pay those bills. But so Brandi's like, I don't understand why Dorit is still driving the Bentley considering she has bills to pay. So yeah, which I kind of get. And she even kind of says the same thing about Erica. She's like, listen, Erica's now buying a Porsche. Like, she's like, I don't understand. Brandi's like, I drive a Ford. So I'm not going to be driving a Bentley because I can't afford a Bentley. But let's be clear, Brandi's never been able to afford a Bentley. But like, she's saying that there's no reason Dorit should be still living this lifestyle considering she owes money for people. Allie says, why did I just picture Erica doing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? I pulled up to a house about 7 or 8 and I yelled to the cabbie, you're home, see you later. Sit on my throne, I was finally there. I'm the Prince of Bel-Air. Foggy Bottom says, nobody knows where the Foggy Bottom is. It's in D.C. What is the Foggy Bottom? I don't understand. I'm very confused. Heather Johnson says, I laughed when he asked that since I'm in Maryland. Lizzie says, Dorit is at the end of her rope. She came in ready to rumble. She's got nothing left. She got 0. And here's the thing you have to remember with Dorit is she didn't come into the season expecting to be the fan favorite. She just came into the season giving 0 fucks, right? How many Fs do I give? None, not one, 0, done. Not one F left to give. So Dorit came in hard and knowing she could have been the villain, knowing the audience may ended up hating on her, right? Because you still have Sutton and Garcelle there that are like, ooh, Dorit's hurting, let's kick her in the teeth. They love to kick people in the teeth. And so they're all there like, ooh, the audience is going to hate Dorit because she's being so unlikable this season. And then the audience ended up turning and being on Dorit's side. But like nobody expected that. Everyone's been hating on Dorit for the past couple of seasons. And I don't even think Dorit had any idea that you never know how it's going to go. Right? Look at Tamra Judge. Tamra thought that she was going to be a voice of reason and the audience was going to see her side of things. And instead, the audience is like, whoa, no, you're coming across way too harsh against Shannon. And so Tamra ended up getting her beating from the audience this season, which, it's how the cookie crumbles. Sometimes you're the favorite and sometimes you're not. Distinguished guest says, Dorit bringing cigarettes back. Listen, I've never craved a cigarette more than watching Dorit do that. And I was like, ooh, I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah. Give me more. 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 Oh. So yeah. Okay, that's Dorit. That's Kyle. That's Brandi. Brandi said Kyle thinks that Dorit is bitter, and Brandi thinks that Dorit needs to stop showing off this lavish lifestyle. I'm like, listen, she's still got the Bentley. So until they come and take the Bentley away from her, I'm going to be driving that Bentley too. Like Erica with the earrings. Erica's like, until they tell me that the earrings are not mine, I'm going to wear them in Aspen with my coats and my handbags. And then that's when Kathy's like, those things aren't yours. And she's like, according to who? She's like, everybody knows that. Everybody knows those things aren't yours. Allie says, only bring back cigarettes if they bring back cloves. Were cloves? Cloves? What in the mulled wine are you talking about? Cloves? Who likes cloves? Were cloves ever in style? I don't like cloves. What in the apple cider are you talking about? Foggy Bottom says, Dorit is speaking and I want to hear it. Even the chic wind chime. Yeah. Steven says, Dorit has been good. I think we got to get rid of Garcelle. I don't care how you spell her name. She's not interesting. It reminds me of Robin. Okay, tell me when Garcelle was ever interesting. I'm glad that we finally woken up and are out of the fog. Cloves were in style in 1997. Cloves. Oh, I was thinking the spice. Clove spice. Like when you make mulled wine with clove. What? Cloves? That's what we're talking about, right? What cloves are you talking about? On clove smoking teen of the 90s. What is a clove? What are clove smoking? Oh, there's clove cigarettes. Clove cigarettes, also known as Critex, have been banned in the U.S. since 2009. Why? What are clove? Ooh. What are clove cigarettes? Critic. Is that how you spell it? Critique. A type of cigarette that contains tobacco, cloves, and other additives. Interesting. That just doesn't sound. That's like a Christmas cigarette, right? Clove cigarettes have been banned because of toxins. Oh, because regular cigarettes are fine. What? Why did we ban clove cigarettes and we're just like, oh, the regular cigarettes are totally cool, right? Like Kathy Hilton just ripping them on the side of the street. That sounds like smoking potpourri, right? That sounds like smoke. Like we're having a little Christmas ciggy. Siggy, can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me. I'm just flashing ways. Laura said they did smell good. The rim of the cigarette had taste. Interesting. They were addicting to teens. They smell great. Oh, so you don't have that ugly cigarette smell. Interesting. Well, that actually sounds like a better alternative because then when you're smoking cigarettes, you end up smelling like a cigarette. But if you can just come out smelling like cloves, you can be like, listen, Jack Frost has arrived. Mrs. Claus is in the house. Poof, I smell like clove, Marianne Stout says, yes, my dad used to smoke clove cigarettes and have clove pockets. He used them like chew. Cloves are spiced cigarettes, but I think they're actually considered a type of cigar. No, they're cigarettes. Just get a joint. I don't want a joint. Foggy Bottom says, I'm tired of Foggy Bottom's like, forget your cigarette conversation. Can we please trash Garcelle some more? I'm tired of Garcelle. She's kissing Kyle's ass now. I'm done with her. I used Jarun clove cigarettes. They're so good. Rosen. Oh, remember bubblegum cigarettes for kids? Oh, I remember those. I do remember those. Sharon said, my dad chain smoked unfiltered Paul. Ooh, okay. Well, listen, I'm not endorsing smoking cigarettes, but I will tell you this. If you're looking to recharge your holiday hustle, then I suggest you check out my pals at BioRay. BioRay products are the plant medicine that you've been looking for. They're in these tasty liquid tinctures, so it's easy to take. You just get a little bloop, bloop, put a little bloop, bloop, put in your coffee, put in your water, put in your tea, you can put in a little mimosa. I like to make a little cocktail out of it. I like to use their Liver Lover by BioRay. Delicioso. So if you want to give BioRay a try, right now you can recharge after the holiday hustle, okay, for today only. because today's 31st. So today this promotion expires. When you spend $75 at BioRay.com, you'll get a free adrenal recharge, which is an adrenal recharge. It's a little tincture you can put in your coffee, your water, whatever you want to drink. It replenishes your adrenals. It helps relieve stress and exhaustion, and it helps restore creative energy. So you can check them out at BioRay.com. Be sure to place your orders. They have products for the whole family, be it infants, kids, teens, their adult daily line. They have their intimate line. Remember, you got a free massage candle if you ordered one of their intimate kits. So you can go right now. Right here, I have the Raise, the thinking cap. I like to take these. They call it the study buddy for a focused mind. So if your teen has trouble focusing, you can give them a little thinking cap to help them focus better, especially after the holidays when they're on that sugar rampage. They're trying to get back into the swing of things. BioRay Raise, their Raise line, their teens line is great. You can check it out at BioRay.com. I like taking Thinking Camp because it also helps me focus because I have like 50 million tabs open in my brain. But right now, if you go on BioRay and you spend $75 or more, you will get the free adrenal recharge. Again, it replenishes your adrenals. It relieves stress and exhaustion, and it restores creative energy. It's a great restart. Personally, I love their liver lover, so I can take care of my little liver. Because especially this season, we're drinking a lot of coffee, we're eating a lot of sweets, we're, not being the cleanest right now. We're having some holiday cocktails, so you can recharge your adrenals. I recommend getting liver lover, thinking cap. They also have primary detox, another great one that I love, all in my cabinet right now, actually. But give BioRay a try. Use code Zack, ZACK, for free shipping at BioRay.com. That's BIORAY, BioRay.com. Go to BioRay.com and use code Zack, ZACK, and get that free shipping. Let's get it. Okay. Let's talk about this list of shows that have so these were Bravo's top-rated shows of 2024, because we're rounding out 2024. We're going into 2025. Oh, yay. Lizzie says, I'm ordering some today. My New Year gift to your son. Yay. Go, Lizzie. Go, girl. Get it, girl. Get it, girl. I'm going to get their Red Rooster because I hear that it helps at the gym. So I'm going to get some of that before my workout. So gentlemen or ladies, if you want to get some for your men, you want to get some muscles, you're like, yeah, give me some muscles. Then go and get them some. You can get some Red Rooster. I hear it also like helps with stamina and stuff. Jen said you had to pick up some gummies. Haven't slept in 8 days with the power outages. Listen, BioRay also has Dream Machine from their Raise line. They have other products to help with sleep, so you can check those out too. Okay, but just be sure to use code BioRay, BioRay.com. My contract is ending in February, and I want to make sure I keep signed with them. So please keep ordering. Use code Zack, ZCK. Okay, so these are the top-rated shows of Bravo in 2024. So it's Real Housewives of Orange County, Vanderpump Rules, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Southern Charm, and Real Housewives of New Jersey. So of those, we have OC. We have, let me see if I can post a poll in the live chat. But it's OC, Vanderpump, Beverly Hills, Jersey, Southern Charm. What would you say is your number one? I'm going to say, based off of content alone, OC is probably the number one, right? I just feel like Vanderpump and Jersey, and I rewatched the Jersey finale the other day because I was like, was it as bad as I remember? And I feel like sometimes when we rewatch things, they're not always as bad as we remember them. But so Jersey and Vanderpump, I feel like they just had a disjointed cast. It just didn't, like, it was tough because we kept seeing a lot of like scenes of them separate. So I think OC, everybody came to play, right? Gina came in, letting everybody know she didn't push Travis down the stairs, even though she kicked him out of the house. Heather Dubrow came in. She's like, oh, Shannon. She's like the least amount, darling. And then Shannon came in, she ran through that season like she ran through that house, zipping down Newport like she's Tokyo Drift. We had Tamra, who was really just stirring the pot and like making sure the flames were constantly high. We had Emily, who was also really charged. We had Jen. Jen really brought it. And then the Ryan stuff at the end, also great. We had Katie, who came in with all her lies and the golf balls. She was just swatting lies like she was swatting them golf balls. So I thought it was a good season. Good content. Every episode was interesting. Vanderpump had moments, but it was just, again, it was tough. And I feel like people were really critical because the cast was just no longer cohesive. Beverly Hills was fine. I would say the only real breakout moment was when Erica shut down Denise. Or I guess Denise was really kind of like the breakout of the season, and Erica eating her up the way Brandi ate her coochie. But like Denise at the weed dinner, that was great. Erica and the OnlyFans comment towards Denise, that was great. And then Kyle in the finale scene with her family, I think that was impactful. You know, outside of that, I mean, what, Sutton bought a horse, and what did Garcelle do? I know this season she bought her Bakersfield beach house, but like I don't remember what she does ever, actually. Anne Marie, which looking back, I see the critiques you guys had of Anne Marie. Like she wasn't the strongest new addition. I will give you that. She wasn't the best new addition. Diana Jenkins, I thought was great. We need to bring back Diana Jenkins. She had money. She had zero fucks to give. She called Sutton to see you next Tuesday. She made her cry. And I was like, wow, the mean girl being mean to the mean girls. She had zero. She had a hot husband. She had a gorgeous big house. Wait, Zack, is this the order in ratings? No, I don't think this is well, yeah, these are the top 5 in ratings, but I don't know which one outperformed. Beverly Hills and Vanderpump, I know were at the top in terms of ratings. Actually, let's see what the live ratings were. Real Houses, Orange County. Let's see what the average. I'll look that up right now. The thing is, the streaming numbers like Peacock and stuff, they don't ever disclose what those numbers are publicly, so we never know that. OC season 18. So average viewers for season 20, or no, sorry, season 18 for OC, average viewership was 600,000. Okay. Not terrible. Not terrible. Let's see, that's OC. It's not the strongest, though, to be honest. Beverly Hills was 1.03, okay, which is strong, right? They held a 1.1, 1.1, 1.4, 1.6, 1.6, 1.7. Yeah, so they started out at 1.9. Season 2 came in over 2 mil as the average. Season 3 came in about 2 mil as the average, and then it started to dip seasons 4 and 5 with 1.8. And then by season 6, it dropped to 1.7. By season 8, it dropped to 1.6. By season 10, it dropped to 1.4. And then there was a significant dip between season 10 and 11 where it dropped from 1.4 to 1.2, 1.19, and then 1.16, and then 1.03. But again, these don't factor in streaming. And I think a lot of the ratings as the years go on, live views go down, but people are streaming now more on Peacock. But that's still pretty strong considering, you know, Beverly Hills knocked it out with over a mil. Over a mil, which, you know, good for them. Mind your business. Okay, Vanderpump Rules. So they had over a mil. Vanderpump Rules has, let's see. Vanderpump Rules' average is this information available. Looks like about, maybe I would say they don't have the average listed, but based off of the numbers, we had 1.3, 1.0, 900, 900, 900, 900, 900, 1 mil, just under 1 mil, just under 1 mil, just under 1 mil. I would say maybe slightly behind Beverly Hills. I would say 9 in the 900s, which is strong considering it's not a housewife show, it's a spinoff. And it's in its 11th season. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. So around 900 to 1 mil. So Vanderpump performed well. Beverly Hills is still in the lead. Southern Charm. Let's see. Southern Charm, and then I'll look up Jersey. Jersey, I want to say was around 700. Southern Charm averaged about 6 to 7, around 700,000 for the season. Not too shabby. That was season 9. Now we're currently in season 10. Oof. We've had a significant dip. Right now, the average is 500,000. So we were, you know, high end of 600, just under 700,000 per as the average per episode last year. So that's not very strong. And then Real Housewives of New Jersey. Jersey is at an average of, oh, wow, oh, 700,000. That's what I predicted. So they're down overall live TV ratings, but again, we have to factor in the streaming. So it looks like it was Beverly Hills at number 1, then we got Vanderpump Rules, then it was Jersey, and then it was OC and Southern Charm at the bottom in terms of viewers, or at least live viewers. We don't have the streaming numbers. And then at the very, very bottom is Roni. So yeah, I would say OC, even though it's at the bottom in terms of viewership, I think content-wise brought the most. Beverly Hills, I understand people really like them. You have like power, like strong power hitters like Erica and Kyle. I feel like Dorit and Sutton have kind of also started to upgrade into that level of like breaking out into the mainstream popularity that Kyle and Erica have. Like Kyle and Erica will always make headlines. And so I just don't feel like Sutton really makes headlines. Dorit's starting to get to that level. She's like just right up in there. Garcelle never really makes headlines ever. TBH. Sorry, not sorry. So yeah. Anne says, is Summer House and Winter House just going to keep collectively collecting the Vanderpump Rules leftovers? Maybe James and Lala would shake stuff up. I'm still not interested in almost any of the other cast. Well, I think James is going to be on ice for quite a minute as he faces his legal drama. His legal with the DV arrest. I think Winter House is done. I don't think they're going to be anymore. I think the show has officially been put on pause, which is the new term we say for being canceled. And Summer House they don't really recycle Vanderpump Rules leftovers. I know they have like a weekend where Tom Schwartz comes to visit, but it's more of like a cameo. The network seems to like Tom Schwartz. Like they have him making a cameo on The Valley. They have him making a cameo on Summer House. So they seem to want to keep Schwartzy around, at least in some sort of limited capacity. You know, they need to bring back Family Karma. Well, nobody was really watching Family Karma, though. It was a good show. And I know people really liked it, but it wasn't the knockout that I think people thought that it was. All right. That's Sutton, Dorit, Brandi, ratings. Is there anything else you want to talk about Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively? I feel like some people are like, I'm over it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Are we over it? Do we not want to talk about it anymore? Or are we still like living for it? Garcelle makes movies no one sees. Laura with the shade. I mean, not wrong though. You know, Teresa Ramirez says, hi, Zack. Hi. We'll see what happens. We'll see where they take their programming next. Foggy Bottom says, I think James broke Raquel's nose. He did break Raquel's nose. She said that on the show. He accidentally bumped her. That's not. Foggy Bottom's like, I got some scoop. I got a good theory. And it's like, well, that theory was already proven when Raquel said it on the show. Is Blake suing me? We'll see. Danny, it was one of my favorite shows. Gave me warm and fuzzies, which Bravo seldom does. Yeah, I thought that like that was a smart direction for Bravo to go in, was more like Family Karma, Real Girlfriends in Paris. Like I just feel like there were other shows that Bravo could have been building up that could, you know, eventually become popular to replace Housewives. And now we're in this place where we don't have any more Real Girlfriends shows. We don't even have a second season of Real Girlfriends in Paris. And Family Karma, I thought was a great addition. Like, here's the thing, Bravo just has to commit to some of these shows, right? They just have to keep kind of pushing it forward, because without that push, it's like the shows are not going to be able to stay steady. So, well, Janelle, we at where we at. All right, guys. This is where I leave you. I wish you a very merry, happy new year. Is there anything else? Any final thoughts, feelings, vibes, questions? Thoughts, feelings, vibes, questions. Bravo's got a lot of direction of the traders and Ultimate Girl Ship. Yeah, that's another direction that I really like as well. Any thoughts on or if and when Kristen will speak her full truth? I don't think that'll come anytime soon. She's too much at stake with, I think she wants to focus on the baby, focus on Luke, and save her job with the network at the Valley. So I think she's going to not speak her truth. I think she's going to let what happens play out. But I think what's going to happen is James is going to get off. No charges will be filed, and he'll say he was exonerated, and he'll have his little comeback. Unfortunately. All right, guys. I love you. I appreciate you. Be sure to check back on Thursday. I won't be live tomorrow. It is New Year's Day, so I will be taking the day off, but lots of fun and exciting stuff planned for the new year. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. I hope you continue. Yep. Danny says, hop on over to Daily Dose of Donna and make sure, yes, guys, go flood Daily Dose of Donna's show right now. Let her know that the Zack pack is in the house and is giving her some love. So go up and say, Zack pack in the house, showing Donna some love. Go show Donna some love. If you're enjoying the podcast and you're listening on Apple Podcasts, then definitely be sure to leave me an Apple Podcast review. Before you leave, be sure to hit the like button here on YouTube. Hit the like button, drop a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. I love you. I appreciate you. This has been a really fun and exciting year. A lot of trials and tribulations, but you know what? We still here. We're doing the damn thing. So thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. I'll see you next year. All right. Give me a follow at Just Plain Zack if you want to keep up with me and my shenanigans, or follow the podcast at No Filter with Zack. We broke that 80K. Let's get it. All right. Let's get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Laura says yes. And get an Uber if you're going to get white girl wasted. There we go. There you go, Laura, with your racist remarks. All right. Love you guys. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Ring in the new year with someone you love. Get laid tonight. Get lit tonight. Be safe. And I will talk to you next year. Bye, guys.